challenge. Okay, so let's take a look at summary 3. Save. Drop into the website, and I'll just first of all review what's different between the 101 summary 3 and the 102. It's getting late in the day. I think my computer's getting tired here. Okay, I'll wake up. Nap time.
No school today and tomorrow, so high school kids are on the internet.
Oh, is that it? Yeah. High school kids are sucking down all the bandwidth.
Their YouTubes and their
Facebooks
Facebooks.
There's so much out there nowadays.
Okay. Here's summary 3. Okay, so you've all seen Worldometers. Maybe it's time to update this. Anyway, appropriate date in October of 2015. Don't, you can disregard the 2013 part. And so what we're doing, we're going out to Worldometers. Let's see if the population has grown since the last time I checked in. Yeah, looks like it's still going up. And these numbers are wild. I mean, I was just realizing that an entire population of France has been added to planet Earth this year. A quarter of Montana's population has been added today. Yeah, the whole, it's pretty staggering. But what I'm going to ask you to do is go in, grab a number, sort of, nowish. You can even start today, say, 5 o'clock on Thursday. I'm gonna pick this number off. I'm gonna do it again at 5 o'clock on Saturday, and I'm gonna do it again at 5 o'clock on Monday. Thank you. And then I'm gonna go in and plot these numbers, and I'll hop over to example I just went through in 101, and again, I think since you've seen most of this before, I'll be able to go a little more quickly. Every year I make a new one, so this is summary 3, example 4. Maybe I get a little bit better at explaining it too. So all I did, I started out, I've got days here, which is my independent variable. This is day 0. You can say, 5 o'clock on Thursday afternoon, 5 o'clock on Saturday afternoon, 5 o'clock on Monday afternoon. So even 2-day intervals. If, let's say you're 4 hours late or 6 hours, let's say you're 6 hours late one day, that would just become 2.25, a quarter of a day. I think somewhere else in the instructions say that convert it to seconds, but I think that gets a little bit pesky. So I then put in 3, fake data points, 7 billion, 7.1 billion, 7.2 billion. Obviously the rate of population rise is greater than what we would see, but I'm just using this for illustrative purposes. You put your numbers in. You put the CO2 in, and we'll go, let's see where that is in the Worldometers. So we're pushing 32 billion tons of CO2 emissions. I'm just kind of staring at a couple of these other numbers. And a lot of times, you'll look at the number of hectares of land loss, and it's not like it's happening in one place, and it's kind of happening everywhere. But and again, these are extrapolations, and I do encourage you for 102, unlike for 101. So since in 102 you need 2 citations for each paper, go and dig into some of these statistics and see where they're coming from. Is it satellite data? Is it polls? Is it economic data? Someone's tracking sales of something. So that would be an appropriate second reference for your 102 write-up. But CO2 right there, so you just take a snapshot. Obviously, it's moving, and I'll let you use your best judgment in terms of how many significant digits. But you can probably leave the last 3 off if you want. It's not going to have that much of an effect on your results. So you plot that here, and what you can see is that I've, if I click on the blue line, maybe, okay, I clicked on the orange line. For some reason I wasn't able to click on the blue one. You can see that I've put that data on a secondary axis. And so I want you to use one set of data on a primary, the other one a secondary. The way to do that is just to right-click on it, format data series. We could click it over to the primary. It's just tougher to look at. It allows Excel to kind of auto scale that, much nicer to look at. Another thing I want to share with you is when you first put in your data, only grab the independent variable column, the days, and the dependent variable column, the population. Go to your insert and use this graph. Don't use the curves. Don't use the thing with no points. This is the most appropriate one to use, because you can see the line, you can see the data points, and you're not making some implied prediction based on these are sort of higher order B-splines or whatever. The whole point is just to show the data points, what's connected to what, and then you make your predictions. Okay, and all I've done on the population is added a trend line. So you right-click it, you add the trend line. You can see this one is linear. I've displayed the equation on the chart, and I'm also going to have the R-squared value displayed as well. In this case, it's 1. I think if I go in and now format the trend line label, I'm going to go ahead and just put in 4 significant digits. It kind of messes with the slope and the y-intercept, but you're going to need those extra significant digits so you can get an R value that's not just 1. So, convention in R values is to have 3 or 4 significant digits. I've selected 4, and that's what you can say. What is the R value? Let's just go out and take a look at it really quick. I don't even know how Yahoo search engine survives. It's just this random stuff. I mean, no offense, Yahoo, but I'm just like,
Google's kind of one.
yeah. Have you guys seen the Google cars driving around town? They're everywhere. And I know it's not just for it's for their self-driving cars, because they're going to use satellite data, but they're also going to use local data. Where's the curb, where's the building, where are the pinch points, if you will. Yeah, it's coming. Yeah. Okay, so the R value is a statistical measurement, and I actually like the R value on Wikipedia. correlation coefficient. I don't know why it keeps going to different course. Go to R squared. Okay, there we go. All right. So what's being used is this thing called ordinary least squares. So it's actually called the R square value. I was incorrectly calling it the R value. And really all that's happening, I don't know if they've got a good, yeah, they've got a pretty good representation of it here. What they're trying to do is just minimize these areas. Now they've drawn them as little squares. You can also think of them as little triangles. So this dot obviously is not touching that line. And as close as it is, this center dot is not touching the line either. 2 points determine a line. You might get lucky and all three sit on the line, but in general, 3 points do not determine a line. So what the R squared value is trying to do is minimize the areas of these little shapes, whether they're squares or triangles. So each one of these little data points, y sub I is the y coordinate of each point, and then y bar, that's the average value. And so you take that, divide the residual of the sums by the total of the sums, and out pops the R value. So if the residual value, if in each case these are 0, then you get 1 minus 0, and that's 1. So that's more or less what you're looking for. Okay, so we've got the R value on that. Do the same thing down here. So I won't beleaguer you, and you could, if you wanted to, well, use your 101 spreadsheet, go back in, type in the new values. The one thing I want to stress is that you do the exercise twice. One with the original data up here on the top, pull the numbers from the equation. So here's 52.5 million is the slope of that line, so I just typed it right there. And when I went to plot it, you can see that I used y equals mx plus b. That's the formula right there. I did it again for CO2. Y equals mx plus b. And then down here, to make this other chart, all I did was copy the top one. So you can take this whole thing, copy it. I'll just paste it over here for the time being. Paste it. Obviously the whole chart comes in. Now all I did to make the other one is just drag these boxes down. Click over here. Wake up. You. Oh, it thinks I'm on a trend line. Yeah, and this can get a little bit annoying. Yeah, I'm trying to just click on the line. So that data highlights, You're not the only one. Okay, in this case, what I'm going to do is just format trend line. There should be a way to get rid of the thing, because I think that's what's holding me back. Okay, I deleted the trend line. come back in. Okay, now I can repeat that. I have to do a little on-the-fly troubleshooting. Now I repeat that, and there's the projection. Okay, I'll zoom back out, and you can see that's exactly what I have here. Okay, now I'm going to get rid of that. So that's your first assignment, is just to plot these out. And now for the R value though, I've plotted this for how well the data correlates to a linear fit. What you need to do for your assignment though, and let me confirm that's what I've got. Okay, you want to find the R value between the two variables. So we actually want to find the R value between population and CO2. So let's do that now. That's one of the things you do differently in 102 versus 101. So let's go in and hop on that right now. I'm gonna take these two guys, copy them, come down here, paste them. So now I've got CO2 as a function of population, and one of the goals of conquering the climate change problem is to have the CO2 per person actually go down, right? The challenge in terms of economic stability is how do you actually pull that off? How do we move towards a post-carbon economy so that you don't have to set things on fire to be comfortable? And that's really the big picture. And again, these numbers are artificial, and it's more than likely in the few days that you're observing this data, you're not going to find some new global trend, but I hopefully you at least see the point of the exercise. So now I'm going to go ahead back in, insert a chart. I can come in, add a trend line. I'll put that as linear. I'll put the equation. I'll put the R squared value on. And now this gives you something to talk about. So what's happening with this chart here in terms of CO2 per person? Is it increasing or decreasing? Yeah, it's increasing because it's curving up. And I'm also, let me see if I can't put a, oops. I want to add axis titles. Here we go. So this is CO2. Another important thing, this is in tons. You're going to want to put the units on there. And, whoa.
What did you do?
What did I do there?
Paste it.
I think I might also be able to, I think there's a, I might even be able to get fancy and make that as a subscript. So fancy. Also, don't bother putting this title there. Don't leave that thing sitting around. Also, format chart area, I'd say no line on the border. It's just a little cleaner when you go ahead and paste it into Excel. Population. There we go. So now you've got this. So this is looking pretty good. You might get rid of some of those grid lines. You can leave them in there. It's not a big deal. So the question is, how do I now get this into a Microsoft Word document? Was that kind of your question previously? Or how do I get pictures into a Microsoft Word document? Or what was the?
No, when you do the screenshot, when you go to Worldometers and you take
Oh.
a picture of your numbers to put
Oh.
into this,
Oh, okay.
I still have.
Oh, okay, we can do that too. All right, we'll do them both. So let's go down.
Because I know how to take that and put it into Word document.
Okay, all
That's
right.
what you gotta paste it as a picture.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know how to screenshot. I guess you can.
Okay. I've got a little summary here of, highlighting the data, plot as a scattergram, straight lines, have the equation, right-click it, SIGDIGS. Yeah. Okay. Well, just so that we're all on the same page, the best way to get this thing into your Word document that I found is just copy it, tab back over, and paste it as a picture. Don't paste it in as Excel. The next thing you want to do is insert, actually maybe it's under references, insert caption. Oh, no, sorry, insert caption, figure 1, CO2 emissions, and right off the bat I can tell I'm making an error, so I'm going to do Control-Shift-8, and I'm going to go back here to the beginning. I'm going to put in a return. I think I am anyway. Actually, I'm going to cut it from there, and I'm going to stick the figure right there, so I know that the figure itself is in its own paragraph. That's important. So CO2 emissions as a function of population. There we go. So I pasted that in. Now the question came up, how do I get my raw data in there? And if we go back to Worldometers, and if you want to include that, that's fine. On the, I wish I could show, gosh, my hair's getting pretty good today, isn't it? I wish I could show the buttons down here on the screen, but typically it's up in the function row of buttons. There'll be a print screen tab, and so on my laptop, it's just function print screen. So the function key, at least on a PC, is just to the right of the control key and just to the left of the Windows key. So now I've done a function print screen that's now in memory on the clipboard. I go in and go to Home, Paste, Paste Special, and it's going to come in as some kind of figure. It might come as a JPEG or as a TIFF or whatever. In this case, it's a bitmap. That's some good hair, man. And so I'll go to Format. I'll crop it. You'll probably want to do this too, right? Crop it so you don't have some crazy hair day hanging out. You can scale it. Another good rule of thumb on your figures, you don't want any font in your figures that's smaller than the font in your text. And Microsoft Excel is frequently guilty of that. If that's turning out to be a problem, you can come in here, hit the font key, If it's, you know, it's kind of at a wimpy 9, you might, you know, crank that up to even 16. Might look a little clownishly large, but better than too small. So, font, 16, etc. Do the same thing here. A triple click gets the whole thing, if you didn't know that. Triple click is a fun one. 16. Control Z is one of my best friends too. Oops, Control Z. So, you know, it's not bad looking. The curve itself got a little small, but you know, you can fix that. Stretch around, play with it, get it the way you want it on one figure, and then just copy that same format in your other ones so you can go back into your Word document. Let's see if it looks any better. Paste, picture. Yeah, it's a little better, a little easier to read. You might also play around with this indent up here. Take that back over. If you like the thing, and so you can see it's in its own paragraph down here. You can center it. Didn't do much because it's already pretty big, but play around with it that way. Okay, so is that a good summary 3 overview where we need to be? Okay, super. All right, we've got a half hour left. Let's finish we'll get as far as we can with the next chapter, the chapter we're in.